Hello, this is SJ Talks and Life coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's that if you're on your cell phone, it's that button that's right there. It should be a little subscribe button right there if you're on your phone. Go ahead and hit that. Please and thank you. Any new subscribers that just subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I want to talk about long overdue video topic. Why are black women single? Long overdue video topic. It was a certain way I was supposed to do this video, but I kept procrastinating and putting it off. So I wanted to compile some stats and write everything down on a big board and on everything and do it. It was a certain way I was gonna do it, and I just kept dragging and not doing it and getting the things done. So I'm just gonna talk about it. I was gonna compile some stats and include some statistics in the video, but I haven't pulled any stats, but I know some off the top of my head anyway. So anywho, why are black women single? Good question. I'm in a high traffic. I'm parked where there's high traffic, so that's all that noises. The noises you hear, that's traffic. I'm parked in a place where there's a lot of high traffic. I like to people watch from here as well. I'm at the gym, so I like to sit here and people watch sometimes and watch the traffic. That's the city girl. I'm a city girl at heart. I like to watch the traffic. I like the people watch. Let me know in the comment section if you guys like the people watch and watch traffic. I love the people watch, and I like to watch traffic. Think it makes sense. It's this YouTuber by the name of Cash Jordan. He's out of New York. He's like a real estate guy in New York, and he shows a lot of apartments. It's really interesting because New York has no housing codes. I'm convinced that New York has no housing codes. Some of the apartments that he shows is just ridiculous, and they cost an arm and a leg. If you guys ever lived in New York, or you know somebody that live in New York, if you heard of New York apartment prices, they're crazy. Like you pay $2,000 a month to live in a closet, basically. It's ridiculous. And if it's an area like Manhattan or because New York has what they call boroughs, so Manhattan is one of the pricier boroughs of New York. If it's in the apartment is in Manhattan, anything that you get in Manhattan, you're gonna drop some money for. I don't care if it's a closet, you know. And anyway, I know I'm getting off topic, but anyway, some of the apartments that he showed, I'd be like, oh no, that's not working because I can't see the traffic. Like some of them, the windows be facing a brick wall, and then I'd be putting in the comment section, no, that's not working for me. I can't see the traffic. It doesn't have any street views. And some people like when I watch House Hunters, because I'm a real estate. I love real estate. When I watch House Hunters, they be like, looking at houses, and they be facing the traffic or a freeway or something like that. And they say, oh, I can hear the traffic. The house be by a freeway or traffic. And I'll be like, for some reason, weird reason, I used to live on a busy street. So I used to live on a busy street where there was a lot of traffic. And actually, technically, it's actually the street that I'm on now. Technically, I used to live on the street that I'm on now. And to be technical, to be honest. And I used to love to sit on my porch and watch the traffic. And I had no problem with the sound of the traffic. I know, call me weird. Maybe I'm a city girl at heart, maybe. Maybe I'm the big city girl at heart. I don't know. But anyway, I love the people watch, and I like to watch traffic. So it's cool for me. If I had an apartment in New York, it's gotta be facing. I gotta have some street views so I can watch the traffic. Put in the comment section if you like to people watch and you like to watch traffic. I know I'm not the only one. Anywho, I know I'm getting way off topic here. Okay, but yeah, why are black women single? That's a good question. Why are black women single? Now, the Black Manosphere likes to say, they like to give their little 2 cents and opinions as to why they think black women are single. And they think it's because black women they say number one of the reasons is that black women have a bad attitude. That we all have a bad attitude because people love, and I say people because they're not the only ones, people love to generalize and stereotype black women. They just love to do it. And one of the things that they always say is that black women have a bad attitude, that we all have such horrible, terrible attitudes, and that's the reason why we can't keep a man. That's one of their theories as to why that's only a 30% marital rate amongst black women. Black women have the lowest marital rates, I think, of all the races. White women have the highest. White and Asian women, do they have the highest? I think white women's marital rates are a whopping 63%. Black women's marital rates are 27 to 30%. And it's been, our marital rates have been on a steady decline ever since the 1950s. In the 1950s, black women's marital rates were a whopping 50% or higher. In the 1950s. And ever since then, it's been on a steady decline. And so now for years, it's been 27 to 30% marital rate for black women. And that's one of the reasons why the Black Manosphere likes to say we're not married. Another reason why they say that we're not married, the reason they like to give that we're not married is this all kinds of terrible stereotypes. We're not good women. We don't know how to treat our men. We have an overly independent spirit. They like to say that they say all of us. They say this about all of us. It's always a generalization and a stereotype. We all have an overly independent spirit, and we all say that we don't need a man. And that's one of the reasons why we don't have a man. That's what they say. That's what they say. And we're not good women. We're not wife material. We don't make good wives. We're not good women. But it's quite interesting because when black women marry other races of men, the marriages are more successful. Why is it when black women marry other races of men, the marriages are more successful? Particularly when black women marry white men, the marriages are more successful. So if that theory is correct, that we're such horrible and terrible women, and we have such bad attitudes, and we just don't make good wives, we're not wife material, why is it that other races of men don't seem to have a problem with staying married to black women. You know what I mean? So, but that's what some of the things that the manosphere is always saying all the time about black women. We hate, we have self-hatred. We all wear weaves. We have self-hatred issues. All kinds of things that they say about us. Some of them say that we're not attractive. And that's because the standards, a lot of black men's standards for black women are through the roof. They raised the bar with black women up to the roof, past the roof, beyond the roof. But then other races of women, they lower that bar extremely low. But I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother video topic. I'm not going to get into that because that's a completely different video. But those are some of the reasons why they say that black women are single. Okay. But I'm here to tell you that those reasons are not true. None of those reasons that the black manosphere state for black women being single is not true. They're absolutely not true. First of all, black women outnumber men by 2 million. I think there's 2 million more of us than it is of them. We outnumber black men. Black women outnumber black men. Okay? So the math ain't mathin'. Okay? We outnumber black men. So because we outnumber black men, if we narrow our options down to just black men and not consider other races of men, then it's going to be a certain percentage of us that's not going to be married, no matter how good we are, no matter how good of a woman we are. If we check off all the boxes, there's a certain percentage of us that will not be married because if we're just narrowing our options just to black men, no other races of men, there's going to be a certain percentage of us that will never be married because it's so much more, many more of us than it is just based on that alone. But hold tight, there's other factors too. That's one of them, first and foremost. Second of all, there is a low percentage of marriageable black men in the black community. There's a low percentage of black men in marriageable black men. Statistically, black men don't get married at the same rates of other races of men. So it's more difficult for black women to find a marriageable, notice I say marriageable, black men in the black community. Statistically, black men marry at lower rates. Okay. And they say, well, they argue, well, there's more out of the black women that are married, most of them are married to black men. Is that the stat? I think that's the stat. Out of the black women that are married, most of them are married to black men. That's what they say. They like to throw that one around a lot. But statistically, black men marry at lower rates. So it's going to be harder for black women to find a marriageable black man, no matter how good she is, no matter how many boxes she checks off. Okay? That's another reason. Another reason is that I haven't been able to find a stat on this one. There is a high percentage of black men in the black community that are gay and on the down low. Most heterosexual black women don't prefer to be, not trying to be homophobic, don't prefer to be with a man that is gay or on the down low. Most heterosexual black women prefer to be with a black man that is like herself, heterosexual. Okay? We don't know the statistics on, it's not clear to get good stats on black men that are on a down low because they're just, that's why they call it the down low, because they're in denial about it. A lot of them are in denial about their situation, or they want to, and they don't want to tell nobody. So how do you compile a stat on that one? But it's a high percentage of black men that are gay, and just straight up gay. And if they're gay, then they're obviously not available to gay men are not going to marry a woman. They're going to marry another man. They're going to marry another man. They're not going to marry a woman. So those black men that are gay, we don't have access to, because they like other men. They don't like women. Okay, so pull those men out. Okay, those black men are not available to us because they're gay, plain and simple. And then there's another a certain percentage of our black men that date and marry other races of women. There's a higher percentage of black men that date and marry other races of women than it is. They date out more, statistically date out more interracially than black women do. Black women's interracial rates are increasing, slowly increasing, but black men still got us, are ahead of us on that one. So there are more black men marry and date other races of women than black women do, or date interracially. So those black men are not going to be available to us because they're dating and marrying other races of women. So you got to take those out. Okay. Another one. And yes, there is another one. A certain percentage of our black men are incarcerated. I told this story before. I was over a friend's house one day. This was years ago. And this guy we knew came up that lived on the street, that we knew, came on the porch because we were sitting on the porch. And he said, why aren't you ladies married? You guys don't look like, you should have too much of a problem, meaning that we're both attractive. And he said, where your husband is? Your husband is in prison. Me and my friend looked at each other. I said, huh? I said, huh? It didn't make no sense to me what he was saying. He said, your husband and me and my friend looked at each other like, what do you mean in prison? He said, your husband is in prison. Meaning, I guess what he was trying to say is that a certain percentage of black men are incarcerated. That probably could have possibly have been a husband, but he got caught up in some criminal activity. Or sometimes black men get incarcerated for things that they didn't even do because of systematic racism. Sometimes they get locked up for stuff that they didn't do. So, okay, if they're in prison, then they're not available to us. Because I don't know about you sisters, but I'm not finna be with nobody I have no interest whatsoever with being involved with a man that's in prison. What can you do for me locked up? You can't do nothing for me incarcerated. You can't provide for me. You can't protect me. You can't love me. You can't do nothing for me. Okay? There's nothing you can do for me if you're locked up. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I don't fall for that jail talk. Well, that's a whole nother video. I don't fall for that old jail talk. Oh, baby, I love you, and this and that, and this and that, and you're beautiful, and this and... I don't fall for that old jail talk. That's what I call it, jail talk. You tell a woman everything she wants to hear because you're locked up. So she can put money on your books, and when you get out, you got some place to sack up. You got some place to parole out to. Not me. I'm not the one. You got somebody to put money on your books. You got somebody to write you, or text you, or whatever it is, send you emails. You got somebody to visit you and looking at you through plate glass. No, thank you. I pass on that. I'm gonna pass on that one. I'm gonna pass on that one. Okay? No, thank you. So, if a woman wants to get married to a man that's going to love her, provide for her, protect her, be there for her, then a man that's incarcerated is not going to work. Okay, so those black men are not going to be available to us because they're incarcerated. Okay. So those are the reasons why black women are single. Black women statistically don't date or marry interracially, excuse me, as much as black men do. Okay. The interracial rate with black women is slowly increasing because more black women are deciding to divest and expand their options. But it's still a large percentage of black women. A lot of black men, for some reason, I don't know if it's because they're so bitter, they refuse to believe that. They refuse to believe that it's a large percentage of black women that are extremely loyal to black men. I was loyal for years. For years, I wouldn't date or wouldn't even entertain the thought of dating another race of men. For years. But now, I'm expanding my options. I'm open to dating other races of men. I don't know about marriage. That's another thing. But I am open to dating other races of men. But for years and years and years, wild horses couldn't get me to date outside my race. I was loyal for years. And a lot of black women have the mindset, I'd rather remain single. If I can't find a marriageable black man, I'd rather remain single. It's a lot of black women that have that mindset. They'd rather remain single than to date outside the race. And for some reason, I think it's because of bitterness, a lot of black men refuse to believe that. They refuse to believe that black women are loyal. They think we're not. It's lots of black women that are extremely loyal to black men. And that's all they want. That's all they want is a black man. They don't want any other race of man. They won't even entertain the thought of dating or marrying outside the race. More black women are starting to open up their mind and expand their options. And some of them are divesting, but there's still a large number of black women that are extremely loyal to black men. So that's not true that black women are not loyal. Black women are extremely loyal to black men. To a fault. I will say to a fault. Because I think black women's marital rates would increase if more black women would expand their options. Not necessarily divest, but expand their options. And their dating and marrying options to other races of men. I do believe that the marital rates would go up for black women. Because we got so many variables and so many things that's working against us in the black community. It's very, very difficult for a black woman to find a marriageable black man, or for him to find her. He's supposed to find her. It's very, very, very extremely difficult for black women to marry, marriageable black women. There's lots of successful black women. They check off all the boxes, and they can't see, and some of them do not want to have children outside of marriage. This is a huge misconception that I mean, first of all, the birth rates are decreasing with black women, and because black men just can't seem to keep us single mothers out their mouth, they don't think about all the black women that don't have children. There's lots of black women that don't even have kids, and they don't want to be a single mother. They don't want to have a baby outside of marriage. They're waiting on a marriage mate so they can have a family. And we all know that we're dealing with a biological clock. There's only a certain window of time that black women or any woman can have a child. And as the older a woman gets, the more high risk, because I think the age 35 and up, if a woman gets pregnant at the age of 35 and up, they consider it a geriatric pregnancy. They call it a geriatric pregnancy. If the woman is over the age of 35, they call it a geriatric pregnancy. That's what they call it. So reason why is because when a woman gets to be 35 and up, the risk for complications gets higher and higher. There's more of a higher chance of a woman having complications over the age of 35. Okay. So there's only a certain window of time where a woman can have a family, have children. Lots of women have healthy babies in their 40s. But you're pushing it. And so when a woman finds herself still single at 40, 35 and up, and she wants to wait on a marriage mate to have that family, and she specifically just want a black man, it's very difficult. Because you're going to want someone that's financially stable, someone that's going to be a decent provider, and there's going to be certain things that you're going to want in a marriage mate. And that's very difficult to find, because when a black man gets it just seems like when black men get to be at a certain level, success-wise, they have the tendency to date and marry out of the race when they get to a certain level of success. It's just a fact. A lot of them have the tendency to date and marry out. So that decreases the black woman's chances when they get to a certain level. They have the tendency to date and marry out. So it's really slim pickings. It's very difficult. It is. It's very. That's what I've been observing over the years. What I personally have been observing over the years, even in my own life. Just recently ran into an old friend of mine, and we've been talking, and she'd been asking me about marriage and all this kind of stuff, and she's like, well, when you pray for your husband, you got to be Pacific. And I'm like, I prayed for a husband for years. He never showed up. So, yeah. So now it's just like, well, I'm not pressed about it anymore, But that's a whole nother video. But, yeah, that's even in my own life, I could not obtain, get, and like I said, I was loyal to black men for years. Don't come in my comment section talking about don't nobody want to marry a single mother, because I know a single mother right now that just got married. She's got 2 boys. So I ain't trying to hear that. And she married a black man. So it happens. It happens. Black single mothers do get married. So, I ain't trying to hear that. Don't come in my comment section with that. You men be nice. Y'all can't keep us single mothers out your mouth. Focus on the black women that don't have kids. And why aren't they married? You guys, that's what you guys claim that you want. You claim you want a woman with no children. But I see so many black women out here that don't have children and they're not married. Why is that? You guys claim you don't want single mothers. There's plenty of black women out here that don't have children, that would love to start a family. And you guys aren't biting. And that's because your standards are through the roof. But that's, like I said, that's a whole nother video. But those are the reasons why black women are not married. It has absolutely nothing to do with our attitudes, because not all of us have bad attitudes, contrary to what all women have attitudes at certain times in a month. If you want to be honest about it. Certain times in a month, all women have attitudes. When what they call it? Aunt Flo. That's what they call it, Aunt Flo. When Aunt Flo comes to town, all women have a bad attitude. Okay? And some women are terrible around that time of month. I try to be nice. I still try to be nice. But, you know, if I did, my sons probably got the gist of it. my co-workers didn't get it, but my sons probably got it. Unfortunately. And women that are menopausal, of all races, can get ugly. Menopause can make a woman get ugly. Turn women into a Karen. Okay? And it doesn't matter what race that woman is. Because I've encountered women of other races with bad attitudes. I worked with plenty of them. I worked with plenty of women of other races, particularly Caucasian women, that have bad attitudes. Black women don't have a patent on bad attitudes. So stop saying we all have a bad attitude. Stop it. We're not, all of us don't have a bad attitude, and we're not the only race of women that, just because black women want to stand up for themselves, and I did a whole nother video on that. Because that's what it all boils down to. Black women are supposed to be doormats and take crap off of people. We're not supposed to stand up for ourselves, and then when we do stand up for ourselves, we're the bad guys. We have a bad attitude, and this and that and the other. But June, you're not assertive enough. You don't stand up for yourself. I've had people tell me that before. Then when I do stand up for myself, there's a problem with it. People have an issue with it when I do stand up for myself. Go figure. Make it make sense. And that's a problem with a lot of black women. Well, when black women stand up for themselves. When black women stand their ground. People say they have a bad attitude. No, we're just standing our ground. We're not finna let you talk to us any kind of way. Just because a black woman ain't gonna let you talk to her any kind of way? A black woman ain't gonna let you treat her any kind of way? A black woman didn't get good service? Or you were mean, the clerk was mean to you? You supposed to sit there and take it? Well, sometimes I blow them off, but if the attitude is too nasty, I'm going to say something about it. We have the right to stand up for ourselves. Okay? That's not having a bad attitude. That's standing up for ourselves. And I think that black men confuse the two. We supposed to sit there and let you talk to us any kind of way? We supposed to sit up there and let you treat us any kind of way? Because when I was in my relationship, I stood my ground. I stood my ground because my ex used to say, when you get mad, you can't get a word in edgewise. My ex used to say that you get mad and you can't get a word in edgewise. And I'm like, well, this don't piss me off then. I was a sweet woman. I was a good woman, and I was a sweet woman. And yes, I was submissive to a point. But if you ruffle my feathers, don't ruffle my feathers. If you ruffle my feathers, we gonna have a problem. You ruffle my feathers, we gonna have a problem. I'm not finna let you talk to me any kind of way. I'm not finna let you treat me any kind of way. I'm not your doormat. And if you're not doing right, I'm gonna let you know you're not doing right. Okay? I was not a doormat in my relationships. I wasn't. People can say anything they want about me. You know, stand up for yourself. That's because I was trying to keep my job. But I was no doormat in my relationships. And I'm not finna let you talk to me any kind of way. I'm not finna let you treat me any kind of way. I'm not finna let you be overly controlling to me. Okay? I'm gonna say something. Because my ex used to hang up on me. This is before the cell phones. This is before back in the 90s, before we had the cell phone. We always had our arguments over the phone, and he would hang up on me. He said, you get mad, you can't get a word in edge. I said, well, then don't piss me off then. It's that simple, baby. I'm going to stand my ground. Or if I go somewhere and I feel like I'm not getting good service and you being too rude to me, I'm going to let you know. Okay? I'm going to let you know. You ain't got no reason to talk to me like that. And I'm patronizing your business and helping you get your paycheck. Now, if it's just a little mild, you know, something that's minor, I'll let it go. But I mean, if they're blatantly, if service people are, because I believe in treating service people with respect. Because I worked in the service industry, so I know how hard it is. So I'll try to treat all service people with respect. But if they're blatantly rude, then I'm gonna say something about it. And if it's real bad, get your manager over here now. If it's that bad, if it's never got to that point. Now, if it's just a little mild rudeness or whatever, or you're not going out your way to be friendly to me, I let that go. But when I walk away, I will say something. Because I used to be a cashier. I used to work in the service industry, so I know how it's supposed to be. The other day, I encountered a wonderful black female cashier. She was so nice. She's like sweetheart, and she was so nice. Is that oh, you find everything you're looking for, honey? And she was so nice. And then the black man came after me, and she called him baby. Yes, she did. And she was a black woman, and she was real nice. If I could grade her, I would have gave her an A+. Service was. She was. I mean, she had me really, really feeling really good after I walked away. See, at the store. I said, well, I guess that shoots that stereotype straight to, you know where, that all black women have a bad attitude. Because she was sweet. If I could grade her, I would have gave her an A+. Because that's another thing that they say about us. They say that black women in the service industry are rude and disrespectful. Not this one. She was real nice. I encountered the other race being rude at times in the service industry. Yeah. Or not going out their way to be overly friendly. See, stereotypes are terrible. Stereotypes are horrible. They're horrible. It's not okay to put people in a box. Get to know me first. And then decide whether you like me or not. If you get to know me and then you decide you don't like me, oh well. Ain't nothing I can do about it then. As long as you don't put your hand on me. But get to know me first. Okay? Get to know me first and then make a decision about whether you like me or not. Don't prejudge me. Don't look at me and you because you see a black woman, you got all these stereotypes running through your mind. That's not okay and it's not fair. Get to know me first. You might find that you didn't ran up on a pretty nice person, because I am a nice person. Yeah. I treat everybody with kindness and respect. And everybody in my family is like that. This is the way I was brought up. It was the way I was raised. And everybody in my family is like that. Everybody in my family is like that. My mother's like that. My sisters are like that. We always treat people with love and kindness and respect. Because that's the way I was brought up. So I hate these nasty stereotypes about black women. I hate it. Just, ugh. Anyway, I know this video. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit sound off in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. Men, you be nice. Be nice. Be nice. Stop being mean to me. Be nice. Okay. Sound off in the comment section though. Let me know what your thoughts are on why black women are single. Let me know. Why do you think black women are single? Okay. Hit sound off in the comment section. If you ain't telling the truth, I'm going to debate with you. I'm going to give you a good debate. Now, if you're too bad, then you know how I do. But anyway, let me know. Hit that subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell so every time I do a video, you'll be notified. And until the next video, you guys be blessed.